You may remember a time when the air itself felt heavy, as if it pressed against your chest in small, unnoticeable increments. Perhaps it was a quiet evening, the house dimly lit, and every sound, creaking floorboards, distant voices, stirred a small, almost imperceptible alert inside you. You didn't run. You didn't call anyone. You simply stayed still, listening to your own heartbeat, waiting for something you couldn't name. That waiting itself felt familiar. It was a rhythm you learned to move with, even if you didn't fully understand it. Or maybe it was a room filled with people, laughter echoing around you, yet you found yourself on the edge, hands lightly pressed together, chest tightening, as though each smile or passing glance carried a hidden judgment. You told yourself to relax, but your body had already mapped the safest place, the one just beyond the center, where attention might miss you, where words might not reach too closely. There was a pattern here, subtle and precise, like a shadow tracing the lines of your own instincts. You might notice now that this awareness, this constant attunement, followed you quietly through life. You learned which voices to listen to, which gestures to anticipate, which silences could mean danger and which could mean nothing at all. Your mind became a meticulous archivist, recording micro-moments. The shift in someone's eyes, the pause before a word, the faintest tightening of a jaw. You may not have labeled it as fear or anxiety or hypervigilance, but your body knew. It was a system you built for survival, long before words existed to explain it. Perhaps you felt safe sometimes. A rare afternoon when the light fell just right, when a friend spoke gently without expectation, when laughter didn't carry an edge, you might have thought, this is how it feels to be okay. And yet those moments were brief, almost fragile, because the broader world had never given you a clear map. You had to invent your own landmarks, often invisible to anyone else. Safety became a skill, not a given. It was something you pieced together in tiny increments, in small, almost invisible steps. This pattern, learning safety outside of guidance, is something many carry quietly. It shapes how you enter rooms, how you sit at tables, how you speak or hold back. It may even shape the ways you let others in cautiously, even when you long for connection. Awareness of danger, even subtle danger, becomes a companion, and paradoxically, sometimes a comfort. It tells you that you can navigate the world, even if the instructions were never given. When you notice this pattern, there is an odd relief in recognition, not because the pattern itself is perfect or because it guarantees comfort, but because you see that it has been a faithful, if imperfect, tool. It has allowed you to endure, to move through spaces where safety was not offered, to carry yourself with a quiet steadiness. You may not have realized it, but your instincts have kept you alive, not just physically, but emotionally, in the ways your mind needed to adapt. Sometimes these adaptations can feel heavy. The constant scanning, the subtle bracing, the quiet calculation of what is safe and what is not, these things can make the body tense, the mind weary. And yet, acknowledging this fatigue is itself a small act of permission. You may breathe slowly now, allowing the chest to release a little of that tension, acknowledging that your vigilance has been necessary, and that it is okay to notice how tired it has made you. There is also a curious elegance in the ways you learn to protect yourself. Each choice you made, silent withdrawal, careful listening, measured speech, was a language of survival. You may not have understood it as language at the time. Perhaps you called it shyness or caution or quietness, but in truth, it was a sophisticated system of signals and responses. And seeing this clearly, even in reflection, allows a gentle shift, a sense that you were not broken for adapting. You were learning a form of resilience, even if it was invisible to others. Sometimes the body remembers these lessons more clearly than the mind. You may notice a tightening in the stomach, a subtle rise in the shoulders, the brief flicker of alertness in the eyes when a situation feels unpredictable. These are not failures. They are echoes of a system designed to keep you safe. They are reminders that the self you inhabit has been attentive, capable, and enduring. And when you witness them without judgment, simply noting the signals as they arise, there is a clarity that emerges, a recognition that the body too has its wisdom. You might also recognize that safety was never only external. Often, the environment was unpredictable, inconsistent, or even absent in its reassurance. The only guide you had was internal, your own sensing, your own boundaries, your own capacity to pause and measure what felt tolerable. And that, though lonely at times, is also a testament to your resourcefulness. You became an architect of your own emotional landscape, even when the blueprints were missing. That recognition, slow, deliberate, is a subtle kind of hope. It says, you can create pockets of safety, even now, using the tools you already possess. In these reflections, there is space for agency. Awareness does not compel action, it opens possibilities. You may choose to step closer to someone or to hold your distance. You may choose to speak or to remain silent. Each decision carries the quiet authority of self-knowledge, and with each conscious choice, you practice the soft art of self-trust. This is not an urgent task. It is a slow, deliberate unfolding, a series of tiny experiments in how safety can be felt, even when it was never formally taught. There are also moments when the world itself offers gentle signals, soft gestures, steady voices, warm glances. These moments are not guarantees, but invitations. And because you are familiar with pattern recognition, you may notice these invitations with subtle discernment. You may feel the difference between attention that is safe and attention that carries expectation or judgment. There is wisdom in noticing the contrast, in seeing the texture of experiences and learning where your edges meet the world with ease, and where they still need gentle care. You may find that reflection itself becomes a sanctuary. In quiet observation, watching the body, noticing the rhythms of thought, attending to the subtleties of sensation, you create a kind of safety that is internally sourced. It is a personal space where recognition precedes reaction, where thought and feeling are allowed to exist without immediate pressure. And in this internal space, there is an ongoing conversation with yourself, curious, gentle, accepting. You are learning slowly that the act of noticing can itself be a balm, a reinforcement that your inner world is valid and that you are capable of navigating it. And yet, this is not about perfection or control. It is about acknowledging the landscape of your past adaptations and recognizing the quiet power in them. Your vigilance, your sensitivity, your capacity to sense danger, these are not flaws. They are the outcomes of a system designed to survive in uncertain conditions. When you see them as such, the patterns lose their weight. They become, instead, mirrors reflecting the resourcefulness you may have overlooked for years. Recognition here is a form of liberation, not from the past, but from misunderstanding it. You might pause here, take a slow breath. Notice the chest rising and falling, the gentle rhythm of life persisting without demand. There is no obligation to change anything immediately. Awareness itself is the gift. By understanding these patterns, you begin to step lightly into choices that feel coherent, authentic, and protective, not imposed, not forced. The path forward is composed of tiny gestures, a pause before speaking, a careful step into a new environment, a moment of self-reassurance. Each small act is an acknowledgement. I am learning to feel safe in the ways I can. By now, you may feel a quiet shift, not a sweeping transformation, but a soft clarification. The body, once tense, may soften slightly. The mind, once racing to anticipate danger, may find a small window to rest. And within that window, there is space to consider. The patterns I learned were for survival. I have used them wisely. I can continue to use them thoughtfully, and I can also explore what safety might feel like when it is chosen, not only required. In this gentle understanding, there is both respect for the past and permission to inhabit the present more fully. As you close this reflection, remember that safety is not a fixed destination. It is an ongoing practice of awareness, of noticing, of small, considered steps. The patterns that shaped you are not mistakes. They are tools developed in a world that did not provide maps. And in recognizing their purpose, you may find a subtle relief, a soft confidence, a sense of grounded hope. You are capable of noticing, of pausing, of choosing. You are learning slowly to meet yourself with the care that the world may not have offered, and that care itself is a profound form of safety. And if you allow it, the voice that guided you through these words may simply be a companion for the moment, a soft mirror reflecting your own insight. You do not need anyone else to validate it. Awareness gives you choice, not obligation. You may carry it forward quietly, subtly, in ways that honor your history, your body, and your mind. You are here. You are noticing. And in that noticing, there is a gentle kind of safety, one that begins within you and radiates outward in the quiet, steady presence of your own self-understanding.